Good day everyone. So for today we will have the post lab on experiment 3 wherein this is the solubility. So solubility is very important in pharmacy because before a drug can work properly, kailangan muna natin siya maintindihan kung gaano ito kadaling matunaw or mag-dissolve. Okay? So for example, kapag naglagay tayo ng sugar sa water, natutunaw siya. Pero kung sand naman yung ilalagay natin dun sa water, hindi siya basta-basta matutunaw. So, ibig sabihin, magkaiba yung solubility ng substances na yon, ng sand at saka ng sugar. Magkaibang solubility sila. Okay? So, i-discuss pa natin further kung ano yung importance ng solubility and what are the different examples that we have used during the experiment. Okay? So for this experiment, our objective is to us to identify the physical and chemical properties of matter as well as for us to determine the different changes in the properties of matter. So habang ginagawa natin itong experiment na to nun, so i-observe natin kung ano yung mga different properties ng materials na ginamit natin and kung may mga changes ba na nangyayari during the process. So example, kapag pinainit pa yung isang substance, is may observe ba natin na nagbago yung itsura niya, yung state niya, and other properties. Okay? So yan. Next slide is the solubility. So the main topic in here is solubility. So in simple terms, what is solubility? Is it tells us how much of a substance can be dissolved in a certain amount of solvent under a specific condition. So example, may tutunawin tayo sa tubig na sugar. Merong mga point wherein hindi na rin kayang tunawin ng tubig yung additional sugar. So that tells us na may limit or may limitation din yung solubility. It depends to the amount of the substance that is being added to the solvent. Kapag na-over-add na ng substance, there is the possibility or there is a big possibility na hindi na rin kayang tunawin ng solvent mo yung substance. Lalo na kapag na-reach na niya yung limit ng solubility. Okay? Next slide, still under the solubility. So we have defined a while ago what is solubility. It is the ability to dissolve a substance in a certain amount of solvent. Am I right? So let us repeat what is the definition of dissolubility. So it is the maximum quantity of your solute or your substance that can dissolve in a certain amount of solvent or solution at a specified temperature or pressure, especially for the gases. So it depends to the type of solution that you have. Okay? So there are important words to remember for the solubility. You have to take note the solute, solvent, and solubility. Okay? So si solute, this is what we dissolve. And solvent is what dissolves it. Okay? So, ang dinidissolve or yung solid sample is your solute. And yung liquid is your solvent. Okay? So, for example, sugar is your solute and water is your solvent. And solubility tell us gaano karaming sugar ang kaya niyang tunawin. Clear. Okay? Kapag minix mo na yung solute and solvent and nakita mo na natunaw si sugar nung minix siya sa water, therefore it is solubility. Okay? Next slide, let us discuss what are the different factors that affect the solubility. So the first one is temperature. Okay? So, temperature affects the solubility. Pero yung effect ng temperature would depend on the type of substance that we are dissolving. Okay? So, for example, for gases, kapag tumaas yung temperature, generally, bumababa yung solubility. Meaning, mas kaunti yung gas na kaya manatiling dissolved dun sa liquid. Okay? So, for example naman, dun sa mga solid at saka liquid solutes, no, it can be different. Okay? Kapag tinaasan natin yung temperature, the solubility can increase or decrease. It depends on the heat that is involved during the dissolving process. Okay? So, magbigay tayo example para magets ninyo. Okay? So, for example, we have soft drinks. So, sa soft drinks, involved dito is gas. Okay? So, class, isipin ninyo na may soft drinks tayo. Kapag cold yung soft drinks, mas maraming CO2 ang nananatiling dissolved dun sa loob. Kaya mas maraming bubbles kapag binuksan. Tama? Pero kapag warm na yung soft drinks, mas madaling lumabas yung CO2 gas. Kaya mas mabilis din mawala yung carbonation. Okay? Gets ba? So for gases, you have to take note, the higher the temperature, the lower the solubility. Okay? Ulitin natin, for gases, the higher the temperature, the lower the solubility. Okay? Example number 2, sugar naman tayo wherein this is a solid. Okay? Kapag solid, ang i-imagine natin is the sugar and water. Kapag nilagay natin yung sugar sa cold water, matutunaw siya. Pero kapag warm or hot water, usually mabilis at mas maraming sugar ang pwedeng matunaw. Tama? Kaya kapag gumawa tayo ng hot coffee or tea, mas mabilis matunaw ang sugar kaysa sa malamig na tubig. Tama? Easy way to remember, kapag mataas ang temperature, mababa ang solubility kapag gas. Kapag sa solid naman, pag mas mataas ang temperature, mataas din yung solubility. But the exact effect would depend on the dissolving process. Okay? That's why we always consider temperature when studying solubility. Copy. Okay? So, ganun lang siya. Next slide. So, another factor that affects the solubility is pressure. Okay? Especially when we are talking about the gases that is dissolved in liquids. Okay? So, according to Henry's law, kapag constant yung temperature, the solubility of the gas is related to its partial pressure. So, in simple terms, higher pressure means more gas can dissolve in the liquid. Okay? So, kapag bumaba ang pressure, bumababa rin yung amount or concentration ng gas na nadidissolve sa liquid. Okay? And therefore, bumababa rin yung solubility. Example ulit, soft drinks. So, magandang example kasi yung soft drinks. Kapag sealed yung soft drinks bottle, mataas ang pressure inside the bottle. Because of this pressure, maraming CO2 gas yung nandun sa loob ng soft drinks. Pero kapag binuksan natin yung bottle, biglang bumababa yung pressure. Kaya nakikita natin na lumalabas yung paraspirito, lumalabas yung CO2 as bubbles. So, mas madaling tandaan in a way na kapag mataas ang pressure, mataas ang gas solubility. Pero kapag mababa ang pressure, mababa din yung gas solubility. Okay? Kaya kapag binuksan yung soft drinks, nawawala na lang gradually yung carbonation dahil lumalabas yung dissolved na CO2. Okay? So, simple way pa to explain the Henry's law. So, think of pressure as something that pushes the gas into the liquid. Kapag mataas ang pressure, mas maraming gas yung napipilitang magstay dun sa liquid. Kapag binawasan natin yung pressure, mas madaling makatakas yung gas. Okay? So, another example para ma-gets nyo pa, no? So, example na lang sa classroom. Parang may mga students sa loob ng classroom. Or yung mga students sa loob ng classroom. Kapag crowded at sarado yung room, maraming students yun nasa loob. Pero kapag binuksan yung doors at naging less crowded, mas maraming student yung lumalabas. Similar idea sa gas. When pressure decrease, gas escape from the liquid. Gets? Okay? Still under the pressure wherein it is one of the factors that affects solubility. Now, kapag solid or liquid yung solute mo, iba yung effect ng pressure. Unlike gases, pressure has a very little or negligible effect on the solubility of the solid and liquid. So, kahit baguhin pa natin yung pressure, hindi significant yung changes sa amount na matutunaw. So, example, may sugar sa tubig. Kahit dagdagan pa natin ng pressure yung uh, kahit dagdagan pa natin siya ng pressure, hindi naman biglang mas dadami yung sugar na kayang tunawin. So for solids and liquids, pressure is generally not an important factor in solubility. It is very easy to remember na kapag gas plus pressure, may significant effect. Pero kapag solid or liquid plus pressure, walang constant effect or hindi negligible yung effect. Okay? So next one of the factors then that affects the solubility is the nature of the solute and solvent. Ano yung mga nature ng solute and solvent? May effect kasi siya sa solubility, okay? So we have this word na like dissolves like, no? So this simple rule means that the substance with similar chemical characteristic tend to dissolve better in each other. Okay? So usually, polar substances dissolves in polar solvents, while non-polar substances dissolves in non-polar solvents. Okay? So example, first example that we have is the water and sugar. Ang water ay polar. Ang sugar, meron din siyang polar groups. Kaya madaling matunaw ang sugar sa water. So, like dissolves like siya. Another example, oil and water. Kapag oil and water, pinaghalo natin sila, naghihiwalay. Tama? Why? Because water is polar and oil is generally non-polar. So, magkaiba sila ng nature. Kaya hindi sila madaling mag-dissolve sa isa't isa or to each other. Okay? So, kindly take note na lang na kung polar yung solute mo, kailangan yung solvent mo is polar din para mag-dissolve sila. Kung non-polar yung solute mo, kailangan non-polar din yung solvent mo para mag-dissolve. And hindi pwede or mababa yung solubility kapag polar yung solute mo plus non-polar solvent or vice versa. Mababa yung solubility or usually poor yung solubility kapag ganong combination. Okay? So, kapag like dissolves like, kailangan same sila ng nature. Okay? Still under the factors that affect solubility. So we have the particle size and surface area and the presence of salt. So for the particle size and surface area, this two affects the solubility. Kapag mas maliit ang particle size, mas malaki ang surface area na expose yung solute natin sa solvent. Kaya mas mabilis at mas madali makipag-contact ang solute sa solvent. Okay? So example, we have 1 big cube of sugar versus powdered sugar. Kapag nilagay natin sila pareho sa water, mas mabilis matunaw ang powdered sugar dahil mas maliit yung size niya or particles niya at mas maraming surface area ang expose siya sa water compare kapag sa isang malaking sugar cube. Okay? So, in simple terms, the smaller particle size, the larger the surface area, the faster the dissolution, is generally greater apparent solubility. So, technically, particle size mainly affects the rate of the dissolution, not necessarily the equilibrium solubility of a substance. Okay? Last factors that affect solubility, we have the presence of salt. Okay? So, it depends on the situation. Adding salt can either decrease or increase the solubility of another substance. So, there are two important terms that you have to remember. So, we have salting out and salting in. So, kapag salting out, kapag yung salt is nag-decrease ng solubility ng isang substance, parang tinutulak niya palabas ng solution yung substance, kaya mas madaling mag-separate or precipitate. Kapag salting in naman, kapag yung presence ng salt ay nag-i-increase na solubility ng isang substance. Kapag tinutulungan niya yung salt na manatiling dissolve yung substance. Okay? It is very easy for you to remember na kapag salting out, salt pushes the substance out of the solution. Kapag salting in, the salt helps the substance stay in the solution. Okay. Example, imagine meron tayong substance na need i-dissolve sa water. Kapag nag-add tayo na certain salt at bumaba yung amount na kaya niya manatiling dissolve, that's salting out. But if the salt instead increases its solubility, that's salting in. Okay? So the main key point in here, salt can either decrease or increase the solubility depending on the substance and the type of concentration of the salt present. Okay? Next slide, we have the USP descriptive terms of solubility. Okay, so these terms will be used or can be used to describe how many parts of your solvents are needed to dissolve one part of solute. Okay, from easiest to dissolve to hardest. Okay, so very soluble, freely soluble, soluble, sparingly soluble, slightly soluble, very slightly soluble, and insoluble. So, in Tagalog, kapag very soluble, konting solvent lang ang kailangan para matunaw yung solute. Kapag naman insoluble, sobrang daming solvent ang kailangan or practically hindi siya natutunaw. Okay? Next slide, we have the importance of solubility in pharmacy. So, why is solubility important in pharmacy? Because oral administration is one of the most convenient and commonly used ways of giving medicines. However, one challenge is poor bioavailability. So, poor solubility and low permeability are among the common causes of low oral bioavailability. Okay? Do you get the point? So, in Tagalog or in Taglish example, think about the tablet. Kahit nasa loob na siya ng body or yung drug, kahit nasa loob na siya ng katawan ng tao, kung hindi siya properly matutunaw, mahihirapan yung drug na maging available for absorption. So, hindi enough na may active ingredient lang yung gamot. Kailangan din nating consider or i-consider kung matutunaw and ma-absorb ba to properly once it gets inside our body. Gets? Okay. So, ganun lang siya. Still under the importance of solubility in pharmacy. So, solubility is also one of the important parameter in achieving the desired concentration of drug in the systemic circulation, as well as in achieving the required pharmacological response. So, kapag poorly water-soluble yung drug, sometimes higher doses may be needed to reach the desired therapeutic concentration. So, example, imagine niyo na may drug na very poorly soluble in water. Kahit mataas ang dose na binibigay, kung hindi naman properly dissolved, mahihirapan itong maging available for absorption once it gets inside the body. Okay? Next, we have the different examples of the substances and their solubility in water at a specific temperature. So, we have the following substances. So, we have the calcium carbonate, the ammonium chloride, the sucrose, or also known as the table sugar, and the sodium hydroxide, and the calcium chloride. So, for the calcium carbonate, it is practically insoluble or insoluble in 14 milligram per liter capacity at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, for the ammonium chloride naman, it is freely soluble, no? At a 28.3 grams per 100 ml at 25 degrees Celsius. For the sucrose or the table salt, it is very soluble in water with a measurement of 200 grams per 100 ml and at the temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. And for the fourth one, we have the sodium hydroxide where it is very soluble in water with a measurement of 109 grams per 100 ml at 20 degrees Celsius temperature. And for the last one, calcium chloride, it is freely soluble in water with a measurement of 74.5 grams per 100 ml at 20 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay? So, if you will observe the solubility and the temperature of each substances, hindi para-pareho. May mga madaling matunaw, may mahirap matunaw. That's why important ang solubility kapag nagpo-formulate tayo ng pharmaceutical products. Okay? Last slide, let's look with the miscibility. So, miscibility refers to the ability of the liquid to mix with each other. So, our material gives examples such as ethanol being miscible, while ether, hexane, and chloroform are listed as immiscible under this given classification. So, the easiest example natin is oil and water. Kapag pinaghalo natin sila, eventually maghihiwalay sila into layers. So, hindi sila miscible with each other. Gets? Ganun lang siya. So, before we end this discussion, let's remember the important points of this topic. So, solubility tells us how much solute can dissolve. The factors that affects the solubility includes the temperature, the pressure, nature of the solute and solvent, the particle size or surface area, and also the presence of salt. And in pharmacy, solubility is very important because it can affect the availability and the absorption of the drugs. So remember, not all substances dissolve the same way. And understanding the solubility helps us pharmacists to formulate medicines properly. Okay? And for the references of this discussion, these are the one that we have used for this post-lab discussion. Okay? So thank you for listening. Bye-bye.